Beautiful people, welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. So guys, this is going to be an amazing video and I want to talk to you today about some countries that are good that you can immigrate to in 2024 or 2025. And whether you are moving alone or you are moving with family, it is still very okay for you to migrate to these places. But before we proceed with the video, please do me three things. The first thing you should do to me is to share this video. The second thing you should do for me now, please like the video and do not forget below subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I know you have done that. So I'm going to be taking a look at my jotter here so that we can talk about this. In these countries, I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know, the latest developments. Then I'll also be talking about their tuition or proof of funds, things related to finance that you need to put into consideration in case you want to immigrate to these places. Without wasting time, the first country we are going to be looking at is our almighty Canada. Now, let's discuss about the issue of Canada. And I want to tell you that Canada is not the Canada that we used to know in 2020 to 2023. A lot have changed in Canada, and what I want you to understand is that even though I said you can immigrate to Canada with your family, it's not everybody that can immigrate to Canada with a family. First thing first, note that you can only go to Canada with your family if you apply for a master's or PhD program. If one person, either you or your partner, applies for a master's or PhD program through academics, because there are other pathways you can use to immigrate to Canada, like the express entry pathway, which will lead to permanent residency, so you can move to Canada as a PR holder from your home country. But we are talking about academics here. So if you want to go to Canada with your family, apply for master's or PhD programs only. This is the new development. And remember, if you are going alone, you need to show proof of funds for your 1 year tuition fee, 1 year living cost, and miscellaneous. 1 year tuition fee, let's assume that your tuition is $10,000, which is not even affordable. Like, there is no school now that you can study for $10,000, because almost all universities, community colleges, most of them, they charge above $10,000. Example is MBCC. So you need half of your tuition, 10,000. Assumption, we are just assuming. Then you need living costs, $20,635. Then miscellaneous, $5,000. You sum it together. This is for you alone. In case you want to move with 2 or 3 family members, then you need to calculate extra for them. The extra is found on IRCC, and I have talked about this many times. I'm just here to elaborate again. We go to country number 2. The next country you can immigrate with family is called the Netherlands. The Netherlands is a country in the European Union, a very developed country, a very good country for that matter, with top ranked universities, which include the University of Amsterdam, the University of Rotterdam, the University of Utrecht, the University of Twente. There are a lot of them in Netherlands. Now, if you want to migrate to the Netherlands, there is something you need to understand. Remember, I said I'm going to be telling you some of the things that you have to put into consideration before you start this application. Dutch schools will charge you tuition fee after admissions. What I mean here is, if you get admissions to study in a Dutch school, they will ask you to deposit your tuition fee plus your living cost money plus visa application fee plus medical insurance for 1 year. Together, you drop it in the account that the school is going to give to you. As I am talking to you, if you check Dutch universities, you are going to see all this information on their website when you go to the immigration section. So this is the procedure for the Netherlands. Then they will now file in for your visa and of course your residence permit. So please put all of this into consideration. It's so important because many people do not know about this. Netherlands visa or the study visa is about 98% guaranteed. So you can equally move to the Netherlands with your family, but remember, you have to double the money. However, I will advise you that you take the program, go in first, adjust to the system, look for an accommodation, then you look for a good job after you finish. And remember, Canada and Netherlands, they will give you time to look for a job after you finish your study program. Netherlands will give you 1 year orientation visa, while Canada can give you 1 year or 2 years or 3 years orientation visa. So please put all of this into consideration. It's so important. Now we go to the next country, and what's the name of the next country? It is called Denmark. Denmark will give you 3 years of orientation visa to look for a job in Denmark. Now remember, they do have 2 intakes, not like the other countries. Even the Netherlands also have September intake and January intake, while Denmark have the same September and January intake. Now for Denmark, you have to apply to schools, and remember, IELTS is so compulsory, very important. When you apply to universities in Denmark, they will take some time to assess your application. After the application, you will be given an admissions offer. Now after the admissions offer, you are going to pay part of the tuition for 1 semester according to your university. They will tell you how much you have to pay. Then when you pay this money, you will now relate back to the university. Then the university will now fill in your visa form, send to you to fill and sign. Then from there, you can now visit the visa center, which is a VFS Global in the neighboring country. For those in Cameroon, you cannot do it from Cameroon. You have to go to Nigeria. So when you do it, after that, your visa will be granted. Remember, if you do fraudulent documents, if your documents are fishy, they might call you. I have someone who was called, and this person booked an appointment with me, so we talked about that. In case you need an appointment with me, let me know. All right, you already know where to book. Check the video description box and book from there. Remember, if your visa is rejected, it means that 1 or 2 documents of yours is not proper or is not well organized. And I will advise you not to say that you have A whereas you have B, not to say that you have a child whereas you don't have a child, because if you are noticed, if they notice you, they will give you a ban for about 5 years. I hope you understand. After your studies, you can work in Denmark for about 3 years and more. And remember, after 3 years, you are now pushing towards permanent residency. Now, the next country I want us to talk about is called Sweden. You can equally move to Sweden with family using your student visa. But remember, when you are applying for programs, check the program requirement, check everything you need, check the tuition, and check the first tuition deposit. I have a lot of people, or many people in my inbox now, asking me how much is tuition deposit. You cannot know from Milton. Milton cannot independently tell you. All you need to do is to check from the school website during the application process, or you go back to the school website or you ask the school authorities. This is what you need to do, not me. Then again, during the application process for visa, you need to multiply the proof of funds. For how much you need, check this channel. You are going to find many videos where I did this narration and explain a lot of things on what is going to happen if you want to move with your family to Sweden. I hope this helps you. Now we go to the next country, which is Portugal. There is a visa type in Portugal they call is it the D7 visa? Many people are using it. There is another one they call the digital nomad visa. Many people are equally using it. So my advice to you is to apply for a school. One person, you or your husband, you or your girlfriend, apply for a school. When you get admissions, you now put in for visa application for 2. Remember, for one person you need at least 7,000 euros, but for 2 people or 3 or more persons, it depends on how much you have. Again, pay attention to details, because if you do not pay attention to details, you may not get the visa. It's so difficult now. Remember also that many people are applying for the same visa. It's not going to be easy with you, irrespective of the fact that you have a strong application. Even when you get the admissions, to apply for visa will still be a challenging factor. So please, another thing you should consider is legalization. Many schools will ask you for legalized documents. If you do not have the legalized documents, apply for the school while you start doing the process, because you will need the legalization to apply for a visa. I hope you got this clearly. Now, the next country I want to talk about is the United States of America. It is so easy to move to America with your spouse or family on a student visa if you have an admissions and a a visa to study a master's program, and more preferably a PhD program. Now, this is where there is an issue. If you have an admissions for a master's program, the visa officer might be thinking, is this person really going to pull through? But again, if you have a fully funded scholarship, it is excellent. But I will not advise you. I will prefer you go with a PhD. PhD takes at least 3, 4, or 5 years in the United States, and if you win a PhD scholarship, that is huge sums of money. Therefore, you can stand a chance, because you also need to put into consideration that your spouse or your partner cannot work if you are a student in the United States of America. So you need to put all this into consideration, and students are not permitted to work. So in case you even think of moving with your student visa or with your spouse to America, you should know that you will not be able to work. But in other countries, the case is different. Okay, now we take a look at Austria and Finland. Finland will accept you with family. Even with 10 people, you would be good to go. But the problem now is with Finland, you have to sort out proof of funds the same way I said. For you alone, you need 6,720 euros. Then if you are moving with family members, you need around 15,000 euros or more. I did a video about this, and I equally explain in that video what you need to do. Also remember that laws are changing. If you are moving to a country with the notion that after this time I'm going to get permanent residency or citizenship or PGWP, please, you have to rethink again. It is not going to be easy, but in as much as you are legal, everything is going to ride on your own part. Remember, after Finland, we are now looking at Austria. Austria is some sort of a blocked account, but you cannot really say it is a blocked account in the case of Germany and Norway. But just know that they want to see the money in your bank account fully completed, not like Finland where you can show maybe a bank statement. But for Austria, you need to show the money in your account. And remember, you don't just show the money here, you need to show the money when you arrive Austria. So this is how it is, and I believe that with these videos you have learned something. Make sure you apply early and start your visa application early. This is so frustrating, and most of the time the students involved get depressed. So please put everything into consideration and start the visa process as fast as possible. Do not waste a lot of time, because time might not wait for you. This is my advice, and I hope that you take it very well.